According to the Washington Post, the Biden administration is in a real tizzy over the leaked Supreme Court draft opinion that would overturn Roe v. Wade. There's been nonstop meetings, apparently, conversations about what they could do to expand abortion into red states. And I just quote from the article, a lot of the Biden administration, what they could do, according to some experts, is nothing more than window dressing. They're debating a number of executive and regulatory actions the administration could take to make it easier for women in red states, particularly poor women, to have access to abortion. Officials privately recognize that nearly any administrative action would face legal challenges. They realize they're going to run into a red wall of opposition. Republican attorneys general, who have already shown in the last 15 months that they are ready to defend the Constitution and take this administration to court when they overstep their bounds. Joining me now to talk about this is one of the state officials who has been doing just that, Louisiana Solicitor General Liz Murrill, who argued before the Supreme Court in defense of one of Louisiana's pro-life laws. Liz, welcome back to the program.
Thanks, Tony. It's good to be here.
So it looks like Republican attorneys general have been successful in making very clear that they stand ready to challenge this administration anytime they overstep their bounds.
We have been. We've been monitoring what the administration's been doing from the time they took office. I mean, just waiting for this opinion has not been the beginning of our work. We've been working to overturn Roe for years, and we've been monitoring the Biden administration since the day the president was sworn into office.
So there really is not much that the Biden administration could do because, quite frankly, the Democrats, those on the left, have allowed the court to do all of their policy work when it comes to abortion over the years. And now that the court has been shifted to one that adheres to the Constitution, their house of cards is falling. And they're limited in what they can pull out of their administrative trick book to try to force this on the states.
Well, that's right. I mean, the whole point of the draft opinion that we saw is to acknowledge that Roe versus Wade was wrongly decided, that it was egregiously wrong from the beginning, and that this will return power to the states so that the states can regulate as the people deem appropriate in their states. So, I think that the administration is attempting to subvert the constitutional and the Constitution itself.
Liz, what do you think they might do? What actions might the Biden administration take?
Well, we know that they have attempted in the past to try and use the Medicaid Act to force states to pay for abortions. We've seen recent actions with the budget where this administration has tried to use reconciliation to also force this issue. We could see rulemaking. We constantly monitor the Federal Register to see what's happening in the federal government and what kind of tricks they're trying to basically play with rulemaking. We saw, emergency rules come down with vaccine mandates, and those were very concerning, the use of the emergency rule process through the Center for Medicaid Services to pass rules that subverted state police powers. So it wouldn't surprise me to see the administration try to do some things like that again.
Now, Liz, from the standpoint of conservative states, red states like our state, Louisiana, still my home state, when and if Roe is overturned, and we certainly anticipate with this draft opinion that it's not going to deviate much, the work really just begins. That's not the end of the battle for the sanctity of human life. What's next?
Tony, I think that what's next is that we have to make good on our promise to take care of women and the unborn. And to me, that's the most important thing that we need to be focusing on is how to, that's the way that we're going to continue to change people's minds and change their hearts about abortion, is to take care of women and to promote adoption and to help provide services and support for pregnant women so that they won't need this terrible to ever be put to this terrible choice. So I think that that's the job that we have before us, is to make good on the promise that we've made, that we take care of both.
I think you're absolutely right, and we're seeing states already step up and do that, as our neighbor in Mississippi, governor there signing a measure that allows people to direct their tax money to the care pregnancy centers to expand their work in the state of Mississippi. Certainly something Louisiana consider as well. Liz Murrill, always great to talk with you. Thanks so much for your work in Louisiana and beyond in defending the unborn.
Thank you for having me, Tony.